Good afternoon and welcome to a meeting of the Chesapeake School Board. A printed agenda is available in the back of the room if you wish to follow the business items we'll be discussing this evening. Roll call, Dr. Smith.
Mr. Elijah Colon,
Here.
Ms. Malia Huddle,
Here.
Mr. John McCormick,
Here.
Mr. Norman Poole,
Here.
Dr. Amanda Quillen,
Here.
Mrs. Angie Swigert,
Here.
Mrs. Amanda Walker,
Here.
Mr. Mike Lamonia, Vice Chair,
Here.
Mrs. Kim Scott, Chair.
Here. The next item is the adoption of the agenda. Does the superintendent or any board member wish to add or delete an item from the agenda?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I have no amendments to recommend for the agenda, but we will need a closed session as required to discuss personnel matters and student matters.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Ms. Huddle. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Poole. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
We will now go into the closed portion of our meeting. I'll ask Vice Chair Lamonia to read the language to take us into closed session.
Chair Scott, I move that the board should convene in closed session pursuant to the Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3711, subsections A1 and A2 for the following purposes: the discussion and consideration of personnel matters, including candidates for the position of superintendent, administrative appointments and employee assignments, and the consideration of student disciplinary matters.
Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Swigert. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Before we move into closed session and in accordance with bylaw 2-33, we will need a motion to approve the remote participation of Sands Anderson attorney Nikki Chook, who will join us for the discussion in closed session. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Lamonia. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McCormick. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
We are now in closed session. Vice Chair Lamonia, would you please read the statement to bring us back into open session?
Chair Scott, I move that the record shows that the only items discussed in the closed meeting were those specifically cited in the motion to convene into the closed meeting and those lawfully exempted from statutory meeting requirements.
Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Swigert. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Dr. Cotton, do you have items resulting from closed session?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The first recommendation I have is that I recommend that student number 50426E-1 be expelled with services as discussed.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Ms. Huddle. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McCormick. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Dr. Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I do have some administrative appointments that will require approval from the board. The first list I will share will have an effective start date of July 1st, 2026 with your approval. Dr. Jessica L. Dace from Principal Rena B. Wright Primary to Principal Southwestern Elementary. Mrs. Pamela D. Ford from Principal Georgetown Primary to Principal Rena B. Wright Primary. Mr. Joseph B. Mason from Principal Great Bridge Primary to Principal of E.W. Chittum Elementary. Mrs. Bridget C. Outlaw from Principal E.W. Chittum Elementary to Principal of the new elementary school at Culpeper Landing, that's planning principal. Mrs. Susan P. Page from Principal Cedar Road Elementary to Principal B.M. Williams Elementary. Mrs. Helene M. Robinson from Principal Southwestern Elementary to Principal Thurgood Marshall Elementary. Dr. Jennifer L. Zagendorf from Principal Thurgood Marshall Elementary to Principal Cedar Road Elementary. Mrs. Allison O. Taylor from Principal B.M. Williams Elementary to Principal of Great Bridge Primary. Ms. Holly Boyce from Special Education Support Specialist, Suffolk Public Schools, to Administrator of Special Education, School Administration Building, Ms. Khadija Q. Alexander from Assistant Principal, Sparrow Road Intermediate, to Principal, Georgetown Primary. And finally, we do have one additional appointment that will be effective with Board's approval as of May 4th, 2026, and that is Ms. Robin Edwards Roberson from Administrative Specialist, E.W. Chittum Elementary, to Assistant Principal, E.W. Chittum Elementary.
I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Lamonia. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Poole. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
There being no additional action items resulting from the closed session, I will provide a brief update on the superintendent search process. I would like to formally announce that the School Board of the City of Chesapeake will continue to conduct interviews for the position of superintendent from May 4th, 2026 to May 18th, 2026 in accordance with the Code of Virginia, Section 2.2-3712. Now we will move on to the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I'd like to call upon Elder Mark Reeves from New Life Providence Church, who will give the invocation. Afterwards, I'll ask Zaya McDonald, a fifth grader from Thurgood Marshall Elementary School, to lead us in the pledge. Please stand as you are able.
Dear Chesapeake Public School teacher, let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, the scripture from Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope." I pray this scripture for every Chesapeake Public Schools student, teacher, administrator, support staff, our CPS, admin leadership, and staff, and this school board. I pray that every student that walks through the doors of our schools knows that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that each of them would understand that each of them has a unique purpose and plan, and that their education is an important part of walking into that plan. I pray that every single employee in Chesapeake Public Schools system would know and understand their purpose and plan in helping the children and families we serve to reach and walk in the potential and greatness each one of them holds. During this special Staff and Education Appreciation Week, I pray that we would feel the honor, privilege, and importance of what we do as educators. May each and every educator this week feel appreciated and loved. I ask that you guide and direct the discussions and decisions of this school board tonight. Thank you for helping us as we transition from the leadership of Superintendent Cotton to our upcoming superintendent. Thank you for blessing all those in attendance in this school board tonight. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves, and thank you, Zaya. Interesting fact about Mr. Reeves is that our children have known each other since they were in diapers. It's so good to see you this evening. And then Zaya, she's not just an awesome fifth grader at Thurgood Marshall, but she can play several instruments, and her favorite subject is social studies. Thank you so much for being here tonight with your family and leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And Ms. Sagendorf as well. So next on our agenda is awards and recognitions. We will begin with the CCPTA Reflections Contest winners, Dr. Smith.
Thank you very much, Chair Scott. We are very excited tonight to recognize the outstanding achievement of several students from across our district. Joining us are the first place winners of the Chesapeake Council PTA's Reflections Contest. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Jay Luter, Director of Communications, to the podium, who will facilitate these awards. Mr. Luter.
Good evening, Chair Scott, Vice Chair Lamonia, members of the school board, Dr. Cotton, members of the superintendent's cabinet. For over 50 years, the PTA Reflections Contest has provided opportunities for recognition and access to the arts, which boosts student confidence and success in the arts and in life. Each year, thousands of students participate nationwide in the creation of original artwork in one of 6 categories: dance choreography, film production, literature, music composition, photography, and visual arts. The students before you today have received first place in their division in the Chesapeake Council PTA's Reflections Contest, and their piece has gone on to the state and, in some cases, nationwide competition. Before we begin, I'd like to recognize CCPTA President, Ms. Deshauna Brown, who is with us here tonight as well. Thank you, Ms. Brown. And Ms. Brown, thank you so much for your support. Students, as you hear your name, please take one step forward to be recognized. In the category of dance choreography, Hayden Spencer from Southeastern Elementary. Mackenzie Morrow from Southeastern Elementary. Nina Sigich is not here tonight from from Hickory Middle, and from Great Bridge Primary, Suraj Chetta, also not with us tonight. In the category of film production, Cornelius Jackson from Southeastern Elementary. In the category of film production, Chloe Campbell from Butts Road Intermediate. Kerrigan Morris from Great Bridge Middle, and Finnegan Baker from Great Bridge High. In the literature category, Callie Smith from Cedar Road Elementary, Winona Shepherd from Butts Road Intermediate, Avika Vikas from Great Bridge Middle, Kayla Yang from Hickory High, and Suraj Chetta, again, Great Bridge Primary. In the category of music composition, congratulations to Sonora Hinkle from Great Bridge Primary, Callie Gray from Southeastern Elementary, Logan Alexander Quinn from Hickory Middle, and Madison Lee from Grassfield High. In the photography category, we have Callie Smith from Cedar Road Elementary, Reese LaFleur from Cedar Road Elementary, Charlie Harmon from Hickory Middle, Benjamin Castillo from Grassfield High, and again, Suraj Chetta from Great Bridge Primary. In the category of visual arts, congratulations to Savannah Southall from Deep Creek Central, Ava West from E.W. Chittum, Jacob Forrison from Greenbrier Middle, Jaden Ball from Great Bridge High, and from Hickory High, Bruce Bear Chittuck. We're also proud to announce that one of our Reflections participants has received some national recognition from the PTA. Congratulations to Nina Sigich, who is not with us tonight, from Hickory Middle School, who received an Award of Merit in Dance Choreography from the Nationwide Reflections competition. At this time, we'd like to also recognize any family members, staff members, or supporters who are here in the audience to help us celebrate the accomplishments of these students. Will you all please stand to be recognized? And students, congratulations again on your tremendous accomplishment. At this time, will you please move to the right and meet the school board?
Sorry.
Actually, why don't you stand on the other side of Dominic? Dominic will go first. Dominic, can you stand? Do you know Rosalind? I don't think she's here. Tonight, I am also pleased to bring before the board two distinguished students who are making an impact on their school and community. Students, as I describe your accomplishment, please take one step forward. First, we have Dominique Sexton, a sophomore at Grassfield High School. She was recently selected to participate in the Disney Dreamers Academy held at Walt Disney World. Dominique is one of 100 students selected to participate and is the only representative from our region. This reflects her commitment to leadership, character, and personal growth. In addition to her most recent distinction, Dominique is a varsity soccer player, a Governor's STEM Academy student, and an active member of her SCA at Grassfield High School. Tonight, we also have Addie Hooper, a 12th grader at Hickory High School. Addie was recently honored at the Virginia School Board Association's Regional Spring Networking Forum. As a first-place regional winner, her exceptional entry is prominently displayed at the VSBA office in Charlottesville and is a testament to her artistic talent and creativity. Additionally, because her artwork placed first in the region, she will automatically advance to a statewide student art contest, where first-place winners will be honored with a $1,000 award and a commemorative trophy to recognize their achievement. At this time, we'd also like to recognize their family members, staff members, or other supporters who are in the audience to celebrate their accomplishments. Will you all please stand to be recognized? And students, congratulations again on your achievements. At this time, will you please move to the right to introduce yourselves to the school board?
Before we move on to the hearing of citizens, I do want to recognize that we have Delegate Cliff Hayes here with us tonight. Thank you for being here tonight, sir. I don't know if you, thank you for being here tonight. I looked over there, I was like, is that Cliff? We will now move on to the hearing of citizens. During their allotted time, speakers should observe our rules of decorum and know that expression of concerns and criticism on matters of school policy and operations is welcome. While the speaker's own comments are welcome, they may not play pre-recorded messages. Dr. Smith, are there any citizens who have requested time to speak this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 19 citizens who have requested time to speak, and we actually just learned that Rosalind, our other VSBA award winner, arrived. Would it be okay if we introduce her to the board?
Absolutely.
Everyone, as Rosalind is crossing the dais, it's important for me to let you know that Rosalind was also recognized by the VSBA at the Regional Spring Networking Forum. So congratulations to Rosalind as well. Her artwork is also being considered for that $1,000 scholarship from the VSBA. Rosalind, congratulations.
Now we're back on track. I want to thank those speakers who signed up to address the board this evening. As a reminder, there are two ways that citizens can request time to speak at the meeting. You can call the clerk's office before 12 p.m. the day of the meeting, or sign up to speak prior to the start of the meeting. All in-person requests to speak must be submitted to the deputy clerk 5 minutes prior to the published meeting start time. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. Once your allotted time is over, we ask that you promptly exit the podium. We would also like to ask that you refrain from any behavior that disrupts the meeting, including the use of profanity, applause, cheering, or jeering. And you'll know when your 3 minutes is up when you hear a little alarm go off up here. Dr. Smith, please call the first speaker.
Yes, Madam Chair, it appears that speaker number 1 and speaker number 2 are a no-show, so I'd like to invite speaker number 3 to the podium. We call speakers in order of their appearance, in numerical order. We ask them to state their name and city of residence before they begin their remarks. And since we have such a lengthy list tonight, I'd like to ask speaker number 4 if you wouldn't mind coming to the front row so you're ready to be at the podium next. Thank you so much.
Hello, members of the board. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you today about something that is really important to a lot of people in this room, and I think you're going to be hearing just some really amazing stories of impact of the Grassfield Band Program. So, unfortunately, recently we have been informed that the second band director position has been eliminated, and we would like you to really reconsider that decision and just take a hard look at it. We were told that the reason for the decision was based on enrollment numbers. Now, I actually put in a FOIA request and was able to find out the enrollment numbers for the last 3 years for Grassfield High School, and the numbers do not reflect a decline in the band program at Grassfield High School. It's actually showing that it's strong and stable. I don't think that it's fair to essentially take half of the structure of the program, the foundation of it. We have 2 exceptional band directors. I don't think that it's right for us to take half of that based on maybe some classes fluctuate up and down. And I think that we owe it to our students, owe it to our community and the investment that has been made in this program over the last several years building this program up to really find some creative, innovative solutions like what happens in other schools that have 2 band directors. I was just informed that out of the 5 schools in Chesapeake that have 2 band directors, Grassfield is the only one where directors are not allowed to co-teach. That shapes the numbers that you're looking at. That affects the enrollment decisions on whether or not you would keep that position open or not. And I think that that's definitely worth taking a second look at, because if you imagine if you're teaching a class of, say, 70 band students, wouldn't you say that that's warranted to have 2 directors in that class, 70 students? And you just look at the incredible numbers. I got the numbers like literally right before we came here, and the program, all in all, the enrollment in class program, I'm not even talking about marching band and all the other amazing co-curricular programs, but we go from, for the last 3 years, 235 to 228 to 241. That's how many students. I think that warrants 2 band directors. So please consider going back and revisiting that decision, because it's a lot of students and a wonderful community that really will be affected by this decision. Thank you.
Speaker number 4, it's your turn at the podium, and I'd like to invite speaker number 5 to the speaker queue in the front row. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Good evening. My name is Kim Lee from Chesapeake, and I am a 6-year parent of the Grassfield Band Program. My husband and I recently wrote to all of you to share our gratitude for one of our directors, Mr. Walker, and his 4-year successes with the indoor percussion program. We were shocked to learn of the removal of his director position later that same week. While this move is attributed to a dip in band enrollment for the fall, the removal of an entire teaching position is a reactionary and short-sighted move that will handicap Grassfield's band program. Being in band means more than just learning in the classroom. Directors extend the curriculum to bring music concepts to life. With one director, you teach the core band classes, 9th grade band, concert band, wind ensemble, and percussion. With 2 directors, you add in experiences like AP music theory, guitar, adaptive music for special needs students, all without impacting the course offerings of other teachers. Then, we increase access to music to all students, which increases further if we can even leverage CVA. With 2 directors, you can better manage co-curricular ensembles like the marching band and provide for the organization, design, and safety and security of a large group as it travels across the region. 118 students have already signed up to march this fall, up from 105 this year. How does downsizing make sense? This is a multidisciplinary program built on year after year growth in our students' abilities, so we must take a longer-term approach to staffing. Even with a dip in projections, we can look to innovative solutions to retain the second seat. The two-director model works at Grassfield, with each complementing the other in class and on the field. Chesapeake is now asking our lead director to single-handedly maintain a full teaching schedule during the day and to sustain all co-curricular ensembles all by himself. Where is the tipping point, especially as middle school numbers are rising? Can we leverage the successful Hickory High model for Grassfield? At Hickory, 2 band directors co-teach all band courses, and then they go and teach at Hickory Middle, which has 2 directors of its own. Fantastic benefit for those students, and it justifies 2 full-time positions to the Human Resources Department. Can Hugo Owens Middle make that same partnership with Grassfield? Grassfield touches a larger, more diverse group of students, racially, socioeconomically, and by location, and should receive the same support. We must ensure consistency and equity across the city. Retaining the second director seat gives you that space for flexibility and innovation. In closing, let's just review what CPS actually gives to band programs. A director, a room in a school, some instruments, and $10 per enrolled band student. That is it. And when you look at that paltry list, the removal of one director makes a significant, devastating impact. The loss of that director will push additional funding needs straight to families, as we will have to outsource tasks that no longer fit on his overloaded plate. Please reconsider your staffing decision for Grassfield High and ensure that you provide the highest level of service possible to our student musicians. They give hundreds of practice hours to promote school spirit at football games, pep rallies, all while displaying their talents at marching competitions, music assessments, district bands, senior regional orchestra, and all-state, with the highest acceptance rate of any Chesapeake high school into these honor ensembles. We sent 41 to district this year alone. Let's not lose that momentum.
Speaker number 5, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin. And if speaker number 6 would please come to the front.
Good evening, Dr. Cotton and members of the school board. My name is Madison Lee, and I'm a student of Grassfield High School in Chesapeake. Through all 4 of my years at Grassfield, the band program has undoubtedly been the most impactful part. From marching band competitions to concerts to indoor percussion world championships, I've experienced the most growth, both musically and as a person, from my time in our ensembles. It has even helped me decide my major for college next year, music performance. And that is in large part thanks to our 2 directors. With so many co-curricular ensembles offered in our program, having 2 directors instead of 1 is the only way to effectively manage and maintain these groups. To provide an example, one of our directors runs the jazz band, while the other runs indoor percussion and winter guard, all which take place after the school day. With this strategy in play, each ensemble receives attention from our director, who isn't trying to juggle too many things at once, allowing for more focused time rehearsing and refining the season's show. Putting too many responsibilities on a sole person leads to overworking and burnout, both of which are qualities that hinder a competitive group's success. Keeping 2 band directors in our program will allow our ensembles to continue to exist in their current capacity, and more importantly, it will allow them to grow. Based on the indoor percussion ensemble's recent history at Winter Guard International World Championships, earning a bronze medal in open class in 2023, gold in open class in 2024, silver in world class in 2025, and most recently, a bronze medal in world class this year with our highest score to date, it is very clear that having 2 directors is necessary for progress, especially when you look at the ensemble's history before we had our current staff, consistently receiving middling scores in a much lower class. Ultimately, removing the position of assistant band director will not only affect our world-ranked co-curricular ensembles, but also the overall program itself, placing too many responsibilities on one person to keep the classes and competing groups at the level they've been achieving under our current team of staff. The participation rates and success of these ensembles is really simply an extension of the learning experienced in the wind ensemble, percussion ensemble, symphonic band, and freshman band classes, as well as that learned in classes like AP Music Theory, guitar, and adaptive music. Without our 2 directors, Grassfield will lose one of the things that makes it stand out from other Virginia schools. Please reconsider the decision to remove the second band director position. Thank you.
Speaker number 6, it's your turn at the podium. And speaker 7, if you'd come to the speaker queue.
Hi, my name's Elaine Gabriel, a resident of Chesapeake. I'm actually a parent of 2 current band students at Grassfield High, active duty spouse of a service member. We moved to Chesapeake 4 years ago, and I just have to say that one of the things that we look at as a military spouse is we look for groups within the community to find out, where is the best, school district to go to. And one of the things that we usually ask before we get here is what type of programs do those schools offer, specifically electives. Band being one of them. And it's really important, military kids, we move around a lot, to kind of have that feeling, that sense of home. And band was that for my kids. I have one that graduated, and the only reason that he was able to excel in band and do different things within band, the different co-curricular groups, is because of the two directors. Having that opportunity, it just made it home for us, you know, and I'm part of a large group of military spouses within the Hampton Roads, and it's PCS season. We all know that. I'm sure you guys know how big of a military presence there is here. And that's what's in the forums now, is asking, okay, what schools should we go to? What is being offered? You know, not just academics, but, you know, performing arts, you know, and like I said, band is one of them. We do like to know how big is the program, because that's also important, because, you know, our kids want to perform, they want to compete. And that wouldn't be possible, you know, with just one band director. You can't physically put one in two places at the same time. And having that with the two band directors at Grassfield High allowed that for my kids to learn new instruments, get in different groups within band. And I just hope you reconsider adding that second band director position back to Grassfield. Thank you.
Speaker number 7, it's your turn at the podium. Speaker number 8, if you'll please come to the speaker queue.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryder, and I'm a student at Grassfield High School. And I'm kind of here today to discuss the situation on the termination of one of our director positions in our band. So it's kind of really devastating for me because he's impacted the band program so much. And I believe Grassfield needs an assistant director position in order to run our co-curricular and our in-class programs. Many of our programs are ran by two directors or one or the other. So first, I'd like to discuss our percussion program. I myself am in the program, and it's heavily ran by our second director in both marching band and our winter indoor percussion. And over the past 4 consecutive years, our indoor percussion program has placed top 3 at world championships every single year. Our head director runs jazz, so he wouldn't be able to do this. And there's other winter programs with only one director that would not be possible. Without a second director, our program would not thrive as much as it has been and as much as it could in the future. Next, I want to discuss how our second director runs our in-school band programs as well. There are 3 main bands excluding our in-school percussion ensemble. And our second director runs these bands from time to time, and he works full-time with our percussion ensemble, as well as having other music classes like guitar. I myself took AP Music Theory. There's adaptive learning classes. And a second director is valuable for both extracurricular and in-class programs because how much of he contributes. For example, me, as well as other percussionists, we filled up most of these spots in our all-district band. So without a second director to work alongside our first one, our band program could not excel as well as has been. Grassfield High School has earned superior ratings at concert assessments from all 3 band programs that are offered at our school, and our main director plays a big factor in this, and so does our associate director. So without a second one, many of these programs will be much harder to run. There's over 100 kids in some of these programs, which will not be easy for a single person to run. So in all, having a single main director makes it much trickier for all of our programs to be as successful as they have been. Numerous first places at regional and world championships, as well as superior band ratings at concert assessments, have all been achievable through the works of both our first and second band director. I'm concerned for the well-being of our band program as I have more years left in high school, and I would love to continue my passion. So without a second band director, our in-class and co-curricular programs cannot thrive as much as they have been. I hope you can reconsider the termination of our second band director. Thank you for your time.
Speaker number 8, it's your turn at the podium. Speaker number 9, if you'll come to the speaker queue.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew Castillo. I'm a Chesapeake resident. I have 3 children in Chesapeake Public Schools, and I'm here tonight to speak about the decision to eliminate the assistant band director position at Grassfield High School. I understand decisions like this are often driven by enrollment numbers and financial considerations, but I hope tonight to help illustrate the full value of the program and why it requires 2 directors to sustain it. My oldest son was introduced to marching band early. He attended competitions with his mother, who marched with the Hickory Hawks. By the end of 8th grade, he joined the Grassfield Marching Grizzlies. From the very beginning, the program was welcoming. He started high school already connected to a group of students who value hard work and commitment. Earlier this evening, he was recognized for winning the CCPTA Reflections photography competition. The picture he submitted was of 3 color guard flags crossing against the evening sky, and it was taken after a marching band competition, which truly reflected the year's theme of I Belong. That sense of belonging is not accidental, it's built, and it's built over years through consistency, leadership, and support. The band program includes not only classroom instruction, but also extensive co-curricular commitments and is highly successful. The marching band placed fourth at a Bands of America regional competition against much larger schools. The indoor percussion program is a 4-time medalist at the WGI World Championships. The Winter Guard has nearly doubled in size this year, and all bands assessed earned the highest rating of superior. These outcomes reflect student dedication, but they also depend on adequate staffing. 2 directors are currently responsible for teaching classes, organizing multiple ensembles, and leading competitive programs. Reducing that to 1 will limit what can be offered and diminish the experience for the students. Beyond performance, this program develops leaders. Students serve as drum majors, section leaders, and mentors. They volunteer, fundraise, and take on real responsibility, experiences that prepare them for life beyond high school. These opportunities played a role in my son being accepted into the National Honor Society. This program is not just about music, it's about growth, leadership, and belonging. I respectfully ask that you reconsider this decision with the full scope of the program in mind, because the impact on the students is significant. Thank you for your time.
Speaker number 9, it's your turn at the podium. Speaker 10, if you'll come to the speaker queue.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace Doss, and I live in Chesapeake. I have 1 son at Grassfield High School. So in the fall of 2022, Mr. Walker started as an associate band director at Grassfield High. Among many notable things he did during that first year, he reinvigorated the indoor percussion group into something extraordinary that nobody could have imagined. The first year of indoor percussion, they started in the A class, which is the beginning level class. They competed and they dominated so much that they were bumped up to the open intermediate class that same year. They went on to the World Championships, by the way, not city, not state, World Championships, and they won the bronze medal. Fall 2023, they competed again. They worked so hard that this time for the open class, they won the gold medal. They were awarded in 2024 because of their gold medal in open class. They moved up to the elite world class level. Oh, yes, they were awarded the silver medal in the world class level. This year, 2025, they competed again and won a well-deserved bronze medal in the elite class. Because of Mr. Walker's instruction and belief and faith that his students could do it, they are now world-renowned. This year, one of the judges from that World Championship said, his name is Brian Mason, and he said that maybe this was the best 4 marimbas he's ever seen. This is all because of Mr. Walker's coaching. They are now world and nationally recognized. He has brought Grassfield High School to the world stage and put Chesapeake on the map. So I do wonder why, with all these wonderful accomplishments, he's being removed. And if you would indulge me for just a moment, I'd like to equate Mr. Walker to Shohei Ohtani, the LA Dodger. Go Dodgers. He has 2 World Series championships, back-to-back, by the way. So what if after these championships, the Dodgers manager, Dave Roberts, decided to put Shohei back into the minor leagues? That doesn't make sense. Mr. Walker has done so much for Chesapeake schools and Grassfield High. Please reconsider removing him so he can continue the world-class level of success that he has had with Grassfield bands.
Speaker number 10, it's your turn at the podium. Speaker number 11, if you'll please come to the speaker queue.
Chairman Scott, members of the school board, Dr. Cotton, good evening. My name is Alan Walker, and I'm an advocate and supporter of the fine arts program in our schools. My wife and I have had the pleasure of seeing our 3 children be involved from elementary school to their graduation from high school in the band programs at Hickory and Grassfield. The impact from their involvement was significant from the beginning. Each of my children had instructors with a passion for teaching that was inspirational and mentoring. In fact, 2 of them had taken degrees in music, with 1 returning to teach in Chesapeake. This evening, I would like to tell you some facts. Excuse me. About the one that returned to Chesapeake. I'm sorry. Luke Walker came to Grassfield High is a band director from First Colonial High School. At First Colonial, he took a program that was in decline. In a span of 5 years, the program grew and started new ensembles. Luke was also recognized as Teacher of the Year at First Colonial. When he started at Grassfield as a band director, members of the staff from First Colonial also transitioned to Grassfield. Since that transition, Grassfield programs and performance has been elevated. Grassfield ensembles have been finalists at Bands of America competitions and repeated medalists at World Guard International for percussion and are now recognized at the national level. Luke is a director with a passion for teaching and is able to inspire students to perform at an exceptional level. When I was told that band director was being eliminated at Grassfield High, I was upset. I'm kind of upset right now. My questions are, how can a position be eliminated when band numbers are steady or growing? What about the classes that will not be taught, such as the adapted music and AP, because there is not a qualified teacher? While I understand Chesapeake Public Schools is experiencing or expecting a decrease in enrollment and funding for the next school year, doesn't it make sense to target those areas where there is decreased enrollment? In closing, it's hard to accept that we are eliminating a position at the largest high school with one of the largest programs, while similar schools are not. I really appreciate your attention and your time. Thank you.
Speaker number 11, it's your turn at the podium, and speaker number 12 has chosen not to speak, so speaker number 13, if you'll come to the speaker queue.
Yep. Good evening, members of the school board. I'm David Brooks, resident of Chesapeake. So thank you for your time tonight. I too, like everybody else, am here to speak about the decisions to release the second band director at Grassfield High School due to the low enrollment in the music and arts courses. I understand that enrollment is an important factor in the staffing decisions, but I'm concerned that this decision is being made without full transparency, specifically without the clear data on enrollment numbers, an understanding of the reason for the lower enrollment, a holistic analysis of historical and projected enrollment, or how they compare to the other schools in the district. Without that context, it's difficult for the community to understand why this decision is truly necessary, justified, or proportionate. What we do know, however, is the impact of the educator being discussed, Mr. Walker, and the true value he's had on the Chesapeake school system students and those at Grassfield High School. This band director has been instrumental in building a program that has reached national levels of excellence. Under his leadership, the Indoor Percussion Group has achieved award-winning success on the national stage. To put it into context for these kids, this is like going to the NCAA tournament and taking away, a second place, a first place award. That's the level for these high school students. I urge you to Google indoor percussion in Virginia. You'll see it puts Grassfield High and the Chesapeake school system in the limelight. That level of accomplishment doesn't happen by chance. It reflects years of dedication, expertise, and the ability to inspire students and perform to their very best. But beyond competition and awards, his influence is even broader. He's fostered a culture of enrichment where the students are encouraged to grow, not just as musicians, but as individuals. He's created a space where students learn discipline, teamwork, resilience, and pride in their work. These are the things we should value, strive to maintain, and ensure we don't lose educators like this from our district. Aside from the percussion group, this educator also does much more. Much is behind the scenes, some is forward-facing. As you've heard, he leads the adaptive music program for students with special needs, ensuring that access to the arts is inclusive and meaningful for all learners. This kind of program is not easily replaced and speaks to the commitment of equality that should be protected and celebrated. While it may be said that these programs will continue after the staffing reduction, we have to be realistic about what that means. Fewer staff inevitably leads to less focus, less individualized attention, and fewer opportunities for the students to engage deeply. Programs may survive, but their quality, accessibility, and impact will be diminished. The impact is lasting, and I'm confident that the Chesapeake School District strives to find solutions that better our programs and not negatively impact.
Speaker number 13, it's your turn at the podium. Speaker 14, if you'll come to the speaker queue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the school board and all in attendance. My name is Liam Copeland, and I'm speaking to you tonight as a concerned student of the Grassfield High School band program. There are over 200 students involved with the band program at Grassfield High School. Due to your recent decision to eliminate the position of assistant band director at Grassfield, as it stands currently, one singular man will be sole responsible for the musical education of every single one of these students. As a junior at Grassfield, I've had the privilege of being involved with the band program led by our two wonderful band directors over the past 3 years. This program has granted me the incredible opportunity to discover a passion to pour my time into and an outlet to relieve my stress, among many other things. However, my story is not alone. Please stand if you are here tonight to support Grassfield bands. Thank you. As you can see, dozens of these people are here to support the cause of reinstating the position of assistant band director at Grassfield. Each one of these students carries their own unique story of how this band program has helped improve their lives. Otherwise, they would not be here. To help you understand just how imperative a second band director is here at Grassfield, I need to take you beyond the everyday lessons taught in the classroom, because over 100 of the students in our program participate in at least one of the various co-curricular ensembles inside of Grassfield bands, including marching band, indoor percussion, winter color guard, and jazz ensemble. I only have time to get into detail on one, so let's look at indoor percussion, which is led exclusively by our second band director. Since he came to Grassfield 4 years ago, under his leadership, the indoor percussion group has brought home a top 3 trophy from the WGI World Percussion Championships all 4 years. No, I did not just misspeak. They brought home international medals back to Chesapeake every year since our current second director came to Grassfield. As for our curricular ensembles, every year since our current director team began working together, all 3 of our bands, 9th grade band, symphonic band, and wind ensemble, have earned the highest possible rating of superior at our district assessment festival. This is a streak that the program did not have prior to our current combination of directors. This all leads me to my central point. If we were to lose our second band director next year, all of our groups, both curricular and co-curricular, would undoubtedly be unable to continue to compete and succeed at the same level they currently do, because the immense amount of work it takes to run all these ensembles is far too much for one person to undertake. By eliminating the position of assistant band director at Grassfield, you are sabotaging the potential of hundreds of music students and directly contradicting your established vision to, quote, inspire, engage, and empower all learners to achieve their maximum potential. So, I believe I speak for the entire community when I implore you to reinstate this position for the benefit of all of us. Thank you.
Speaker number 13. Speaker number 14. It's your turn at the podium. Speaker number 15, if you'll come forward to our speaker queue.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Dylan Davis from Chesapeake, and I am a senior at Grassfield High School. I've been in band for 4 years, and I currently play flute and marching band, piccolo and concert band, and auxiliary percussion and indoor percussion. I also serve as band president and was section leader for flutes and marching band, which gave me the opportunity to work closely with our assistant band director. I'm here today to speak about the decision to remove the assistant band director position and the impact the decision will have on our program. From my experience, our assistant band director is responsible for a large amount of the behind-the-scenes structure that allows our program to function efficiently. This includes organizing logistics for major events such as marching band competitions, indoor percussion events, and color guard performances. He creates detailed itineraries, coordinates hotel reservations, communicates with vendors, and ensures that every moving part of the travel and competition is properly scheduled and accounted for. Without that role, these responsibilities do not disappear, but they shift onto one person, and that creates a significant strain on the entire program, both logistically and personally. Beyond logistics, he also plays a major instructional role. In indoor percussion, he helps run the ensemble and is essentially the backbone of the organization. In marching band, he assists with his dividing teaching responsibilities, working with students in different sections, and providing targeted musical instruction. He also offers high-level musical feedback that has directly helped me as a student in pursuing music composition. His guidance has helped me think more critically about music and develop skills that I genuinely value and will carry on to my future. But what I want to emphasize most is the impact that he has had on students, including myself, beyond just music. When I first joined band as a freshman, I was extremely shy and unsure of myself. I wanted to stay in the background and avoid attention. Over time, because of the environment built by this program, and the mentorship and support of both directors, including our assistant director, that changed. I went from someone who barely wanted to participate to band president, section leader, and even a student performing solos in marching band performances across the states. That transformation is something I do not take lightly. That growth did not just happen overnight, but it came from a program built on consistent support, structure, and personal investment in students, often in ways that are not always visible from the outside. This concern is not isolated, it is shared by many. In fact, over 1,000 signatures have been collected on a student-led petition in support of maintaining the assistant band director position, reflecting how deeply students, families, and members of our community value this role and the stability it provides. The assistant band director is a key part of the support system. He brings not only organization and instruction, but also calm and steady presence that helps balance the dynamic of the program. He is someone who students trust, respects, and genuinely appreciates working with on a daily basis. Removing this role will not just change how the program is run, it will affect the level of support where students receive, the quality of instruction, and the overall environment that has helped so many of us grow into confident, capable musicians and leaders. We respectfully ask for you to reconsider the impact of this decision will have on the long-term strength of our program. For many of us, band is where we found confidence, community, and purpose, and we are asking for you to help preserve the structure that made that possible. Thank you.
Speaker number 15, it's your turn at the podium. Speaker number 16, if you'll please come to the speaker queue.
Good evening, distinguished board members. My name is Ariana Gummer, and I am the 2025-2026 Marching Grizzlies drum major. I'm here to ask questions and plead a case as to why terminating the position of Associate Band Director would be a detrimental mistake to the Grassfield High School band program and our whole school at large. To start, I want to provide a short list of main responsibilities that band directors have to undertake to run a successful program. 1, teach not only the main band classes, but also theory classes and a guitar class. 2, pick out or handwrite and find specialized instructors for both curricular and extracurricular ensembles, like marching band, indoor percussion, jazz band, and winter guard. 3, learn how to conduct a minimum of 25 total different pieces of music a year for a freshman band, symphonic band, and wind ensemble. Attend all district and all state band assessments, competitions for marching band, indoor percussion, and winter guard, away and home football games, parades, pep rallies, and even special events that the band is requested to perform at, for instance, the Empower Conference that was hosted at Grassfield High School last August. This list only grazes the surface of responsibilities both of our band directors manage throughout the year. Would you really remove this position knowing the workload that comes with it? Core teachers maintain the same curriculum for their classes every year, with the exception of changes within individual units. Meanwhile, band directors, on the other hand, have to change their teaching methods based on the group of students' playing abilities every single year. In addition, unlike core teachers, band teachers need to spend more one-on-one time with students who are struggling due to some of their peers being more advanced in their playing. As listed on the CPS website, the Chesapeake Public Schools music curriculum is aligned with the National Standards for Music Education. And as stated on the official website for the National Standards in Music Education, discrete strands address common high school music classes such as ensembles and music composition and theory. The standards are provided in strands that represent the principal ways music instruction is delivered in the United States. These strands referred to in this excerpt are the pillars of music education, which are as follows: pre-K through 8 general music classes, ensembles, band, orchestra, and choir in this case, harmonizing instruments, music theory, and music technology. Since CPS aligns with the National Standards for Music Education, this would be going against CPS standards by getting rid of the theory classes. So would the board be changing the CPS standards? Is Grassfield the only high school having theory classes removed, or is every high school in the district having them removed? If Grassfield is the only school having theory classes removed, this would be an odd decision considering we have the most successful band program in the district, proven by the 41 students who earned chairs in district band this year. To add to this, getting rid of theory classes would take away the opportunity for a non-music enrolled student to earn a credit for the advanced degree. I thank you for your time. I hope you will take time to ponder on this decision more and how it will affect our entire band program. Thank you.
Speaker number 16, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin. And speaker number 17, if you'll come to the speaker queue.
Hi, my name is Paris St. John, and thank you for hearing us out. I am a senior and a student who has dedicated 4 years of the band program to my life. Through leadership, rehearsals, performances, competition, and everything in between. Like many others, I've invested not just my time, but a big part of who I am into this. Band for us is not just a class. It's a place where we learn discipline, accountability, and resilience. It's where we push through long rehearsals, support each other through challenges, and work towards something bigger than ourselves. It's also where many of us have found a sense of belonging and could call a program a second home. What makes that environment possible isn't just the students, but it's the leadership behind it, our 2 directors. For example, our indoor program progressed from A class to world class in just 3 years. Not only did we reach that level, but we maintained it in the following year and medaled every year, thanks to our 2nd band director coming on board in 2022. That kind of growth is not common, and it is not something that happens in most programs. This success is directly tied to having 2 directors, and losing that position would harm the program. In addition to that, having a 2nd director position has been incredibly beneficial to the success of the program. It allows for more individual attention, better organization, and stronger support for students. That structure is especially important when you consider everything in this program. Beyond concert band, we have extracurriculars such as indoor percussion, winter guard, jazz band, marching band, and other ensembles that require time, planning, and active leadership. These programs don't run on their own. They require constant direction, coordination, and support. Expecting one director to manage all of these responsibilities at the same level is not realistic, and it risks stretching the program too thin. Our band directors are already spending their nights and weekends on these activities, and one person cannot manage that alone. When that happens, the quality of instruction, the student experience, and the success of these groups can all be affected, as their ability to continue are at risk. At Grassfield High School, one of our core values is excellence. Excellence isn't just about results. It's about the standard we hold ourselves to every day. It's about the consistency, effort, and having the support systems in place to succeed. Right now, that standard is at risk. When a program that is demonstrating growth, stability, and success loses part of its foundation, it becomes much harder to maintain that level of excellence, not only because the students care any less, but because the structure that supports the success is being weakened. That program represents years of effort, commitment, and progress from both students and leadership. That progress is something we are proud of and something we want to continue building on. So as that its decisions are made moving forward, they are made with a full understanding of what this program means to its students and what is at stake. I wouldn't be the person or musician that I am today without both of our directors. We also saw an incredible level of community support. Within just 1 week, our petition reached 1,078 signatures. That kind of response doesn't happen by accident. It reflects how deeply students, parents, alumni, and supporters care about this program and what it stands for. It shows that this isn't just important to a small group, but an entire community that believes in maintaining the standard of excellence that we've worked so hard to build. Thank you for your time and considering my perspective.
Speaker number 17, it's your turn at the podium. Speaker 18, if you'll please come to the speaker queue.
Hello, my name is Sam Jones. I'm a student at Grassfield High. On April 28th, the Grassfield High student body was notified that Mr. Luke Walker's position would be terminated at the end of this current school year. I'm here, along with many other concerned students and families, to request that this decision be reconsidered. Since Mr. Walker's arrival as assistant director, our band program has become one of the school's greatest assets. This reputation for excellence is largely due to having 2 directors, which has allowed us to advance our skills in subjects that would otherwise not be as available. I myself am a freshman at Grassfield High School who is registered to take multiple courses at once that Luke Walker teaches as a single man, as are many others. Many students involved in our music program can fill up to 3 classroom seats can be filled by 1 student enrolled in our music program, which means 3 times the workload for our directors. With 2 directors, it has also allowed us for more attention to be I'm sorry, I'm a little shaky. With 2 directors, it has also allowed us to put more attention on adaptive music courses for students with special needs. I strongly believe that without a qualified assistant director to teach these adaptive music courses, our school will be far less inclusive for those with musical interests but who require customized instruction plans. Grassfield High should be a place where all students, regardless of their needs, are welcome to discover what they're passionate about. Mr. Walker's absence would be detrimental to most, if not all, band-related extracurriculars. Our competitive indoor percussion group, which you've definitely heard about, has brought home several world titles since Mr. Walker has come to Grassfield, and they won't be able to go on as effectively without him. Our award-winning marching band will also be negatively impacted and will most likely not be able to compete nearly as well without his presence. As well as an educator, Mr. Walker has also been a huge impact on many people's lives. I myself, at the time where I joined this band program, I was not in a good place because of family drama and because of the community that Mr. Walker has fostered. It was better than any counselor I've ever seen, just like the band family. It's incredible. Thank you for your time.
Speaker number 18, it's your turn at the podium, and speaker number 19, if you'll please come to the speaker queue.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Henry Sprague from Chesapeake, and I, like everyone else here, have come up here to speak on the premise of reinstating the position of Associate Band Director to Grassfield High School. The Grassfield Bands program, under the direction of 2 band directors, has thrived in these past 4 years. We've received high placements at all marching band competitions all along the East Coast, medaled nationally all 4 years in indoor percussion, and earned superior ratings consistently between all of our concert band ensembles. Before the arrival of our second band director, things were not this way. For example, before we had our current second director, we were the lowest of classes for our indoor percussion ensemble, but ever since we got our current second director, we've gone up a class every year, and now for the past 2 years have been at the highest class achievable. We've seen firsthand how much of a difference in our community having 2 band directors has had, and how much worse it is with only 1 director, and yet the position is still being cut. While I'm sure that enrollment data is a large reason for this decision, this doesn't include so many different factors. Everything he does for each class is so helpful, and he's exponentially boosted the learning and potential of me and everyone else in band. Besides the enrollment data, that doesn't even take into account all the co-curriculars that are split up between the 2 directors. Our second director had previously helped direct our marching band, which is a gargantuan task between show design, coordination, and actual directing, solely led our indoor percussion, and also completely headed up our winter guard. If your reasoning for cutting this position is heavily or entirely based upon class enrollment data, then once again I urge you to reconsider. As a core member of indoor percussion myself, I'm scared for what the future holds if we don't have 2 band directors. Will the entire program be cut? Most assuredly, there will have to be many cuts to co-curriculars, and while our first director is great, it's impossible for him to run everything completely by himself, teaching hundreds of kids. So finally, all I wish to do is ask you to reconsider this decision and think about how by removing this integral part of our program, it actively hurts our community and level of competitiveness and hinders us as students from reaching our highest potential. Thank you.
Speaker number 19, it's your turn at the podium. Please state your name and city of residence before you begin.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Cotton, admin staff, and those viewing these proceedings. My name is Dr. Charlotte Worley. I'm a Chesapeake resident. Tonight I speak as a CEA member and as a teacher of Chesapeake Public Schools. My topic is appreciation. As I planned my comments tonight and recalled 1 or 2 eye rolls from last week, I was reminded of a joke Bishop Kevin White told this weekend at a prayer breakfast. As Elizabeth Taylor told her 6th husband, "Don't worry, this won't take long." There are several reasons CEA would like to thank the board, Dr. Cotton, and staff tonight. Thank you for dropping those contracts so early. This practice is respectful of our educators and allows them to plan effectively for their futures. Thank you for those fair raises. Everyone I spoke with was quite delighted and recognized that you see worth in their work and just maybe they'll stay around. Thank you for providing school leadership that recognizes the only reason any of us is here is to help students grow emotionally, physically, and academically. School leaders like Paul Joseph of Oscar Smith High School and his admin team, who constantly remind their teaching team to meet students where they are while holding students to high standards. Thank you for employing heroic teachers and paraprofessionals who work tirelessly to ensure that students are prepared, such as Rebecca Cordia, who gives up her planning block 3 times a week to tutor 1 student in geometry, like our special education teachers across the division who have often worked with challenging staffing issues, like Lisa Deere, who teaches 4 blocks of English as well as homebound and many summers, like Arthur Anderson, who takes his very special students all over this city to learn life skills, like Jennifer Naparella, who's running for city council and helped get a law passed for AP African American history, and like all elementary teachers who work with limited planning, to name a few of our heroes. Thank you for ensuring the students get to school safely under trying circumstances and that they get fed in clean, safe, well-maintained buildings. Thank you for the exciting teacher shout-out process. My students participated today. And last but not least, thank you for our pharmacy. In closing, thanks and thanks bunches for all you do on behalf of our teachers and our children. And never forget, you've got the best educators in America. the best students, the best families, and they always deserve your very best. And since I'm not over my 3 minutes, y'all need to do something at Grassfield, because I am leaving here a believer. Thank you.
This concludes our speakers for this evening.
All right, thank you. Thank you for sharing your comments this evening. Our practice is to receive information, however, we do not usually engage in dialogue, and that is our intent tonight. If appropriate and not already provided, someone from the superintendent's staff will evaluate your concern and provide a response. We will now consider the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Lamoni. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Swiger. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Dr. Smith.
Motion carries with all board members voting yes.
Moving on to the information agenda. The first item this evening is the textbook adoption. Dr. Joppi.
Thank you, Chair Scott. As we continue to do our work to ensure students have access to high-quality, effective instructional resources, we remain focused and maintain a strong alignment between our written, taught, and assessed curriculum. In support of that goal, and in accordance with the Virginia Department of Education requirements, we have engaged in the important and required process of textbook adoption. This evening, you will hear about the thoughtful, collaborative efforts behind this work and the recommendations that have been emerged from it. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Melissa Goodwin, our Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and her dedicated team who have led this process for our school division. Dr. Goodwin.
Thank you, Dr. Joppi. Good evening, Chair Scott, Vice Chair Lamonia, members of the school board, Dr. Cotton, and superintendent staff. Tonight is our annual presentation of our proposed textbook adoption, and this year it is for K-12 mathematics and secondary English language arts. Every adoption gives us an opportunity to examine, revise, and refine our curriculum with timely resources aligned to our state standards and offer more robust digital materials for teachers and students, which is why this is an exciting presentation for the Division of Teaching and Learning and for our teachers. I will begin with some background information about the process we use to select the resources being recommended. Our work on this proposal began in the fall with a committee of math and English language arts teachers, reading specialists, and administrators who designed an evaluation rubric and reviewed state-approved resources. We also ensured the digital and physical materials in consideration were available at schools and select public libraries for teachers, parents, and our community to review and provide feedback. Finally, our committee met with publishers to evaluate materials. Our first job was to create an evaluation tool. Although we only reviewed resources approved by the VDOE, SOL alignment was valued at 30%. We also explored the content for current instructional practices and assessments to ensure they would have the standards-based content needed for effective teaching and learning. Technology stood alone at 25%, which included integration, navigation, student engagement, data reporting, progress monitoring, and tools for planning, delivering, and assessing instruction. Organization, sequence, format, design, illustrations, graphics, and durability represented the final 15%. The committee designed an effective tool, and I'm proud to have worked with them on it. Our textbook selections were the result of a rigorous, collaborative community process centered on transparency and expertise. A dedicated review committee of expert teachers and administrators conducted digital deep dives and evaluated vendor presentations to ensure the highest instructional standards. To ensure the community's voice was heard, physical materials were hosted at local schools and libraries for an extensive public review period. This inclusive approach garnered hundreds of responses from parents, educators, and community members, directly shaping a final decision that shares our reflected and shared commitment to student success. Our committee included representatives from all elementary schools and secondary schools and grade levels K through 12. Joining us on this committee were Title I division coaches and reading specialists who offered insight from a school-wide lens. Leaders from the Division of Technology Innovation and the Department of Curriculum and Instruction also lent their expertise to the mission of this committee. I would like to officially thank the Math and ELA adoption committees for their willingness to serve. This work only happens because of their commitment. We invited members of our committees to be here for tonight's presentation, and I would like to invite those members present to be recognized. Please stand. Okay, now for the reason we are here this evening, our proposed selection. The committee reviewed the following mathematics and ELA vendors before making a decision. For math, the committee reviewed Accelerate Learning STEM Scopes, Great Minds Eureka Math, MathSpace, McGraw-Hill Reveal Math, Savvis, and Vision Math. For ELA, the committee reviewed McGraw-Hill StudySync, HMH into Literature, Savvis, My Perspectives. Following vendor presentations and 376 responses to surveys from teachers and the community, the Math Committee recommends Accelerate Learning STEM Scopes Math for elementary mathematics and MathSpace for secondary mathematics. Following vendor presentations and 154 responses to surveys from teachers and the community, the ELA Committee recommends Savvis My Perspectives for 6 through 12. We are continuing to use wonders in reading, grades K through 5. At this time, it is my honor to welcome Dr. Jennifer Morris-Hayes, Supervisor of Mathematics, who facilitated the math adoption process, and Dr. Marie Copen, Supervisor of English Language Arts, who facilitated the ELA adoption process. They will share details about the resources that we believe will strengthen our K-12 mathematics and 6-12 ELA programs in Chesapeake Public Schools. Jennifer and Marie, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Goodwin. Good evening. It is an honor and privilege to be here tonight on behalf of our Math Textbook Adoption Committee. Accelerate Learning STEM Scopes Math has been vetted and selected as a Tier 1 instructional resource to supplement the curriculum in all K-5 classrooms. This selection fulfills our primary commitment to providing high-quality instructional materials that both challenge students and support educators in their daily practice. Our vision is to move beyond rote memorization, fostering a deep conceptual understanding of mathematics through inquiry-based learning. By offering comprehensive coverage of all grade level standards, STEM Scopes ensures a rigorous focus on numeracy, computation, and algebraic thinking, preparing our students for long-term academic success. STEM Scopes received an overall rating of 80%. This rating comes from a combination of feedback from teachers, community members, and the textbook committee. Feedback from teachers, including the visual appeal of materials, student opportunity to engage with math concepts, and the EL supports. Our selection of STEM Scopes is rooted in the CRA, Concrete Representational Abstract Model, a research-based progression that ensures students understand the why behind the math. This intentional scaffolding builds a deep, lasting intuition for mathematics that moves far beyond rote memorization. As a high-quality instructional material, it is designed for inclusivity and includes robust tools for specially designed instruction, tiered intervention, and English learner support. STEM Scopes leverages a multimodal approach to instruction, providing students with access to both an interactive digital platform and physical manipulatives. Students can complete assignments online or in print while utilizing real-world videos and manipulatives that bring math to life. For educators, the platform offers an expansive suite of assessments, including progress monitoring and diagnostics, to identify learning gaps early. STEM Scopes offers Canvas integration, meeting all industry standards to provide a streamlined experience with 24/7 web-based access. The digital ecosystem features a student toolbox with interactive games and virtual manipulatives, real-world videos connecting math to diverse careers, and adaptive practice that adjusts difficulty to provide immediate student feedback. For grades 6 through 8, Algebra 1 and 2, and Geometry, the committee chose MathSpace. MathSpace received an overall rating of 93% in our middle school courses and 92% in our Algebra and Geometry courses. This rating comes from a combination of feedback from teachers, community members, and the textbook committee. Some feedback from teachers included how the resource felt like it was made for teachers, opportunities for student acceleration, and filling a need in math courses. MathSpace is a VDOE identified high-quality instructional material and is 100% aligned to the 2023 SOLs. It was created specifically for Virginia to meet the specific needs of Virginia students, offering tools for specially designed instruction that supports our students with disabilities and multi-language scaffolds for English learners. MathSpace provides a seamless instructional bridge from middle school to advanced high school math with a platform of resources to reduce teacher planning time. The included tools engage students through a multimodal approach to instruction, offering access to both physical textbooks and a dynamic digital platform where assignments can be completed online. Teachers are supported by an expansive collection of summative and formative assessments, including progress monitoring, unit benchmarks, placement tests, and diagnostics, allowing them to track growth and make data-driven instructional decisions in real time. The platform includes robust instructional supports for those diverse learners, ensuring that students with disabilities and English learners are supported for success. We are pleased that MathSpace offers integration with Canvas, meeting or exceeding all industry standards and certifications as a web-based platform. It provides students and staff with 24/7 access from any internet-connected device, ensuring learning can continue anytime, anywhere. This digital-first, hybrid-ready platform was specifically noted by our review committee for its exceptionally intuitive and user-friendly interface for both teachers and students. Thank you. I'm now happy to introduce Dr. Copen, who will review the English Language Arts textbook adoption information.
Thank you, Dr. Morris-Hayes. Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here this evening to introduce the English Language Arts selection for grades 6 through 12, SAVIS My Perspectives. SAVIS My Perspectives is designed to move students from teacher-led instruction to independent learning. It is widely recognized as high-quality instructional material. The instructional pedagogy is based on the pillars of literacy, gradual release, and multimodal learning. In our feedback form, community members and administrators noted specifically that SAVIS My Perspectives offers comprehensive support for multilingual learner success and engaging and relevant, while balancing the necessity for academic rigor and real-world relevance. Our teachers, coaches, and specialists said that SAVIS My Perspectives was specifically aligned to the SOLs and did so in a manner that was engaging and relevant, and mentioned specifically the grammar component. I'm also excited to share that SAVIS My Perspectives aligns with the 2024 Virginia English Standards of Learning by utilizing a student-centered, evidence-based literacy approach that balances integrated reading, writing, and multimodal communication. As a high-quality instructional material, it provides teachers with robust instructional supports, including point-of-use professional development and explicit routines for diverse learners, ensuring all students are college and career ready. SAVIS My Perspectives is built on the backward design model, focusing on the science of reading. SAVIS My Perspectives is specifically engineered to meet the demands of modern ELA classrooms by blending traditional literacy foundations with advanced instructional technology by integrating the pillars of literacy and a teacher-managed AI-powered writing platform. SAVIS My Perspectives uses a blended approach to learning with consumable student editions that encourage writing in the margins and active annotation, along with the SAVIS Realize platform, which hosts the materials digitally. This flexibility allows for seamless transitions between in-person and remote learning environments. Finally, this resource includes multiple supports for both learners with differing abilities and language skills. We're also happy to report that SAVIS My Perspectives offers seamless integration with Canvas, our current learning management system, and the integration meets or exceeds all industry standards and certifications. And since products are web-based, students and teachers will have 24/7 access from internet-connected devices. Dr. Goodwin will now share our next steps in this process.
Upon your approval, the Department of Curriculum and Instruction will coordinate the purchase of these materials and then begin the process of revising the current curriculum to include Accelerate STEM Scopes for grades K-5 math, Math Space for grades 6-8 math, Algebra 1 and 2, and Geometry, and Savas My Perspectives for grades 6-12 English Language Arts. This summer, we will launch with several teacher training opportunities and then begin implementation in the fall. However, our work does not stop there as we continue to seek teacher input and make adjustments moving forward. We would like to publicly thank all the educators and community members who contributed to the process. Across the city, teachers have expressed how excited they are to have the opportunity to utilize state-of-the-art resources. We would also like to thank you for this consideration. At this time, we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Cologne?
Yes, ma'am. I was looking at STEM Scopes. I was just wondering with the program, exactly how much time is utilized on the Chromebook with the program itself?
Would you like to do that?
STEM Scopes will be a supplemental resource to our current curriculum, and so it is not something that's even required to be online at all. It's got consumable materials. So a student, for instance, in kindergarten, first, second grade, can completely use STEM Scopes without ever getting online at all.
That's good to know. Thank you. Any more questions? I don't see any. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, effort, and expertise that you put into this process, as well as to the committee who volunteers their time, and like you said, the educators who put the effort into taking the survey and their input. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you so much.
The last item on the information agenda is the annual review of gifted education. Dr. Joppy.
Thank you, Chair Scott. In our division, we remain deeply committed to the success and support of all of our learners. And within our Department of Exceptional Learning, we serve students with a wide range of diverse learning needs, including our gifted learners, ensuring that each student is challenged and supported and empowered to reach their full potential. So this evening, Dr. Dornsuela Wilkins McCrory, our Supervisor of Gifted Education, will provide an overview of gifted education in CPS, along with the steps involved in developing our required comprehensive local plan for the education of the gifted. Dr. Dorn.
Good evening, Chair Scott, Vice Chair Lamonia, school board members, superintendent staff, and Dr. Cotton. I am Dr. Dornsuela Wilkins McCrory, Supervisor of Gifted Education. Last year, I introduced myself to you not just as a new supervisor, but as the proud mother of two gifted Chesapeake Public School graduates. Tonight, I want to share how that deeply personal lens, specifically my journey raising a twice exceptional son right here in Chesapeake, is actively driving our department's vision forward. Over the past 18 months, our exceptional team has worked relentlessly to move beyond traditional gifted models. Here is a look at the concrete steps we have taken this year to make this equitable vision a reality. The Chesapeake Public Schools Strategic Plan, Empower 2030, affirms our shared commitment to inspiring, engaging, and empowering all learners to achieve their highest potential, recognizing that students with exceptional abilities possess recognizing that students with exceptional abilities possess unique learning needs and concomitant traits. The Office of Gifted Education is dedicated to providing a dynamic continuum of services. Through Empower 2030, our department serves as a key catalyst across all 5 core division goals. Chesapeake Public Schools recognizes the importance of identifying gifted students and providing them with appropriate educational opportunities. This aligns with the Virginia Department of Education definition of gifted education. This definition is also consistent with federal guidelines for gifted education. By adhering to these shared definitions, Chesapeake Public Schools ensures a clear understanding of giftedness and the needs of gifted learners. Virginia's definition of giftedness includes general intellectual ability, specific academic aptitude, career and technical aptitude, and the visual and performing arts, which includes dance, instrumental music, theater, visual and performing arts, and vocal music. Chesapeake currently provides formal identification for students gifted in general intellectual ability, which is in grades 3rd through 12th, and visual and performing arts grades 9 through 12. In the future, we aim to expand opportunities for identification in other areas of giftedness, ensuring that all students with exceptional talents have access to appropriate services and support. Chesapeake Public Schools employs a comprehensive asset-based approach to data collection, weaving together qualitative and quantitative evidence to illuminate advanced capabilities. We cultivate a dynamic portfolio model in our early grades, kindergarten through 2nd, utilizing open-ended tasks that invite students to showcase their creative thinking and analytical reasoning in action. To ensure equitable access and discover talent across all demographics, we universally screen all first grade students using the newly adopted Naglieri General Ability Test, a strategic upgrade from the nonverbal version designed to better capture diverse cognitive strengths in all second grade students using the Cognitive Abilities Test. While historical models often relied on singular test scores, our strategic commitment to our learners drives us to look broader and deeper. Aligned with the Virginia Department of Education regulations for a multi-criteria process, we recognize that no single data point, whether a test score, an educator's insight, or a portfolio sample, can fully capture a child's capacity. Instead, we intentionally synthesize a rich mosaic of data to build a holistic, comprehensive profile of each student's unique talents. For students identified in general intellectual ability, specialized services are seamlessly integrated within their home schools within the Gifted Cluster classroom. Gifted Cluster resource model begins in elementary school, where students are immersed in high-level thinking. By working in tandem with Gifted Cluster teachers, our gifted specialists deliver vertical differentiation. Through quarterly professional development, our secondary cluster teachers stay at the cutting edge, refining their ability to nurture the complex, interdisciplinary thinking the modern world demands. For those with specialized artistic talents, the journey reaches a collegiate level at the Governor School for the Arts, where students receive personalized mentorship from working professionals, transitioning from the classroom to the professional world. Talent development is a cornerstone of our gifted program, and universal screening in the primary grades is a key strategy for ensuring an equitable access to opportunities for all students. From 2020 to 2025, we have screened approximately 3,000 students per year. Our 6 elementary gifted specialists, in collaboration with building testing coordinators, dedicate 2 weeks annually administering the Naglieri nonverbal assessment to our first grade population and the cognitive abilities test to our second grade population. In addition to the 8,090 students receiving talent development services, we also provide gifted services to over 5,000 students kindergarten through 12th grade. This integrated approach ensures that all students, regardless of the specific identification status, have access to their enriching learning experiences that foster their intellectual growth and development. In the 20 to 24-25 school year, we achieved a consistent 13% to 14% identification rate across our elementary, middle, and high school populations. We are incredibly proud to highlight a major milestone for educational equity. Chesapeake Public Schools is now one of only 2 school divisions in the entire Commonwealth of Virginia to establish a dedicated twice exceptional specialist. This strategic addition directly supports our growing population of 219 twice exceptional learners. A hallmark of our secondary talent development is the robust participation of our gifted learners in advanced academic programming. While these rigorous pathways are proudly accessible to all Chesapeake Public School students, regardless of identification status, our data for the 24-25 school year highlights how heavily our advanced learners rely on these specialized environments. As you can see from these figures, our gifted population is deeply integrated into every specialized program we offer. From the cutting edge of science and medicine to the global perspective of the International Baccalaureate, we are fueling the specific pipelines that prepare our students for the future. The local Gifted Education Advisory Committee has been rigorously analyzing data, reviewing Virginia Department of Education requirements, and evaluating our program's effectiveness. I am proud to share that after months of intentional collaborative work, we are now in the final stages of refining our comprehensive local plan for the education of the gifted. Our official technical review is due to the Virginia Department of Education in October 2026. Because we are approaching this critical state deadline, we want to ensure this plan perfectly reflects the strategic vision of this leadership team before it is officially finalized. Therefore, we are bringing this near final draft to you during the summer to seek your invaluable feedback and guidance as we cross the finish line. Here is a visual representation of how we worked in tandem with parents and the Gifted Education Advisory Committee to create a thorough local plan for the education of the gifted. This timeline illustrates the progression of our plan, showing the sequential steps we took to achieve our goals and the anticipated time frame for each stage. What is the local plan? I'm glad you asked. State regulations require a 5-year planning cycle for gifted education, focusing on identification, service delivery, curriculum and instruction, professional development, equitable representation, and parent community involvement. This proposed plan, charting our course from 2026 to 2031, outlines how we will expand opportunities for gifted learners in each of these areas. By equipping our staff with research-based tools and specialized training, we ensure every student's brilliance is recognized and nurtured through professional excellence, capacity building, equity-focused and professional learning. Because our gifted services occur in the general education classroom, a continuum of differentiated instruction takes place in classrooms in every school. Gifted curriculum emphasizes cross-curricular connections and the application of critical and creative thinking skills to content using real-world situations. For a very small group of students, the curricular enhancements are not sufficient, and those students may require acceleration in a specific subject area, or in even more rare cases, grade-level acceleration. As we look toward the 2026-2027 local plan, our focus is on precision and partnership. We are moving toward a multi-tiered systems of support model that allows us to meet students exactly where they are, tailoring our support to specific academic aptitudes so that a student's unique talent in one subject receives the high-level challenge it deserves. To power this model, we are realigning our human capital by positioning them where their expertise can do the most good. We are deepening our partnership with the curriculum and instruction team, making academic acceleration a standard rather than an exception. Finally, I'm personally leading our gifted endorsement cohort at Regent University by instructing our teachers ourselves. We are ensuring their return to their classrooms equipped with the contemporary research-based tools necessary to recognize and cultivate the hidden potential in every single student. I would like to thank you for your time and attention. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them at this time.
I don't see any questions tonight. Thank you so much for your thorough review. It was very encouraging. Thank you so much. There being no items on the action agenda, we will now move on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I do have a few celebrations for May I have to announce before I go on to the spotlight for this evening. May is full of celebrations. Teacher Appreciation Week is this week, May 4th through the 8th, so we are encouraging our community to provide shout-outs to our teachers, and we hope that many of our members of our community are doing that. We also celebrate National School Nurses Day on May 6th. May, this month, is National Speech, Language, and Hearing Month, and also School Communicators Day is May 8th. Custodial Appreciation Week is May 11th through the 15th. And we look forward to celebrating our custodial team at their appreciation banquet on May 16th at Grassfield High School, and I certainly hope to see you there. Finally, a quick schedule reminder for our elementary families. Friday, May 8th is an elementary-only teacher workday. With that, thank you again for time to present the Superintendent Spotlight tonight. I can't believe that we have already reached the month of May. This is always one of the most exciting times of the year, and I'm grateful to be able to share some of the cool things that have been going on throughout the district. In April, we celebrated the month of the military child.
Throughout the district, we hosted events dedicated to highlighting the importance of the armed forces in our community. Our Family and Community Engagement Team, or FACE team, in conjunction with Grassfield High School, hosted the district's 5th annual Operation Military Families event, which allowed our military-connected families to explore the many resources that are offered to them here in Chesapeake. The day also included free Life Touch family portraits, lunch, and activities for kids of all ages. At Southeastern Elementary, service members from NSA Hampton Roads visited to read to students and celebrate Military Reading Day, and Deep Creek Middle School hosted a luncheon for their military families. These were just a few of the exciting events that took place, and I'm so proud for everyone who contributed to honoring and recognizing our military families and students. Another exciting event is the annual Battle of the Books competition hosted at the Chesapeake Public Library. The event featured a stellar showcase of literacy and teamwork amongst our students and teachers. Grassfield Elementary took home this year's championship, followed by Cedar Road Elementary and Great Bridge Intermediate. In the Educators Edition, the teachers from Hickory Elementary won the contest and took home $1,000 for their school's library. Congratulations to all of the schools and staffs who competed and showcased their literacy skills. The members of the Oscar Smith High School Chamber Orchestra took their skills to the big stage recently as they performed at New York City's Carnegie Hall. The Tigers were participants in the New York Invitational Music Festival and got to play at one of the world's most famous concert halls alongside many high school schools from around the country. Congratulations to the Oscar Smith Chamber Orchestra students and director Dina Kringle on your adventure to one of music's most hallowed halls. Our Chesapeake Career Center students put their own skills on display last week when they donated a set of handcrafted benches to the Chesapeake Humane Society. The project was a collaborative effort between the CCC welding and collision repair programs. The welding students provided the design and construction of the benches, while collision repair provided the professional grade finish. The funding was also generously supported by an Instructional Innovations Grant sponsored by the Chesapeake Public Schools Educational Foundation. Well done to all of our Career Center students who participated in this project. And just as a point of reference, they made the benches in front of our school administration building. I know many of you are aware of that. Chesapeake truly has amazing students, and we had the opportunity to celebrate them during National Student Leadership Week from April 20th through the 24th. We are constantly inspired by our students' passion for service and their ability to create positive change. 5 student councils in our district were recently honored for their excellence, receiving the Council of Excellence Award from the National Association of Student Councils. Deep Creek High, Grassfield High, Hickory High, Western Branch High, and Western Branch Middle were among the 11 schools chosen from the state of Virginia as award recipients for their hard work in creating positive school environments and supporting their school communities. Please join me in congratulating these student councils on their incredible achievement. Chesapeake is home to fantastic employees as well. I wanted to give a shout out to our Power of the Peak honorees for the month of April. Congratulations to Corinne Moore, cafeteria manager at Great Bridge Primary, Peggy Sawyer, teacher at Greenbrier Middle School, and Lisa Delisle, supervisor of intervention and extended learning, for being our well-deserved winners in the support, teach, and lead categories. We have one more round of winners coming up at the end of May, so don't forget to nominate a deserving staff member for the Power of the Peak on our employee recognitions page. I believe that completes. No, it doesn't complete. And I'm out of script, so I'm going to wing it at this point. We would also like to recognize these 3 individuals: Bridget Outlaw, who was selected for the inaugural class, of Principals of Distinction from the Virginia Department of Education. We're proud of her. We also have Rolanda Murray Hall, who was recently recognized by the Chesapeake Rotary as Education Support Staff Person of the Year. And we're also extremely proud of Larry Wade, who's our School Nutrition Director, who was awarded the National School Nutrition Director of the Year recently. So this, at this time, completes my spotlight for this evening. Thank you, board members.
Thank you, Dr. Cotton. Last on our agenda this evening is board member items. Does any board member have items to bring before the group? Mr. McCormick?
Yes, I just want to have a brief shout out for the Chesapeake CTE and the successful launch of the career event last week, Beyond the Diploma. And Chair Scott and I had the privilege, or have the privilege, of serving on the CTE council that saw the behind-the-scenes building of that, and then we were both there to see it launch, and I was able to also host a table for my law firm and talk to many students about legal studies, which is not nearly as exciting as some of the other booths there that had remote control cranes and bending metal, but the law is fun too. But it was a really great event. I was very impressed, especially for an inaugural event. Kudos to you.
I agree with Mr. McCormick, and surprisingly, his table had a lot of business. A lot of kids actually went up to his table. I was equally surprised. I was like, run for your life. Just kidding, but they do deserve a tremendous shout out. I mean, we had over 400 11th graders there, 70 businesses, every branch of the military. We had numerous colleges there, so whether our kids are ready to enlist, enroll, or employ, the CTE staff here at Chesapeake Public Schools is doing everything to give them those opportunities and to connect those pathways. So that was a good shout out, Mr. McCormick, and I thank you. And then on behalf of the board, I just want to say, to echo on Dr. Cotton's comments about this being Teacher Appreciation Week, many board members have children enrolled in Chesapeake Public Schools, and we are abundantly grateful for our educators and the love and the dedication that you bring to the classroom every single day. So we hope that you are just showered and spoiled with so much love this week and appreciation. Thank you so much, and I call this meeting adjourned.